I always used to say curiosity may have killed the cat, but it makes the human. It's very important, seriously.
It is. Yeah. Welcome to Get Curious. I'm your host, J.L. Palmer. Have you ever followed the exact rule book for success, checked every single box, and still felt completely empty inside? Many of us chase what we think is the dream, only to realize we built a life that looks great to others, but feels hollow to us. We're getting curious about what happens when your perfect reality shatters, forcing you to redesign your entire life from the inside out. Our guest climbed straight to the top of corporate America. As a computer engineer with an MBA, he became a global top 1% earner. But a near-fatal car accident at age 26 changed everything, sparking a deep quest for true fulfillment. He is the founder and CEO of Next Level University, a global top 100 podcast with over 2,400 episodes. He has logged over 10,000 hours of peak performance coaching. He brings a beautifully unique, no BS approach to combining massive internal success with deep internal joy. Please join me in welcoming to the Get Curious podcast, Alan Lazaros.
Hello, thank you for having me. I do want to start with gratitude. I think it's a noisy 21st century, and I think it's really something that anyone is listening to this, and I will not waste a second of anyone's time. Thank you for that opening, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I mean, you've definitely got a few more episodes in than I have, and you know what the podcasting space is like, I'm sure. What did you want to start off with today?
Yeah, so it really depends on what you think is of most value. I leave it to you to get out of my brain what you think is useful for your listeners.
That's a literal pick your brain.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
know it.
God. Okay. Well, the rule book question, we can go there. You did everything right. You got the degrees, you climbed the corporate ladder, you made incredible money. Before your accident, you were secretly curious about your lack of fulfillment,
Mm-hmm.
or did it just
Definitely.
numb you out?
So I, from a very young age, was fairly existential. And what existential means is you think a lot about life and you think a lot about there's got to be a better way. And I playfully refer to where I grew up as the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And the reason why is, as upset as some people I grew up with would probably feel about that, I looked around and I saw that the majority of people were not living in alignment with their full potential. They had jobs they hated. Marriage scared the hell out of me. You don't even like each other, never mind love each other.
Oh.
And everyone was pumped for the weekend, but like didn't like their careers really, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so from a young age, I was always trying to understand, like, what can I do to live a life differently than what I'm around? I was born and raised in Massachusetts. I was born in 1988. I'm 37 now.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, it's pretty obvious that the majority of people that I grew up with did not have huge goals and dreams. Maybe they didn't believe in themselves. Maybe they weren't supported, that kind of thing. And what I've found now, you mentioned all the hours of coaching. I coach 38 individuals now, but it's been hundreds over the years. And I think the first thing to start with here is I was externally successful, but I was not internally fulfilled. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are there. And I think we have these, I call them the 4 buckets of life. And we all start out in the first bucket, which is low self-belief, low self-worth. We are externally unsuccessful and we are internally unfulfilled. We don't know ourselves, others in the world yet. We're just trying to figure it out. So I was a cart kid and a busboy when I was 15, 16, 17 at a golf course called Crystal Lake, and I was externally unsuccessful. I made minimum wage, and I was internally unfulfilled. That's where we all start. Then, as you mentioned, I got straight A's in high school. I got my engineering degree. I got my master's in business, and I was off to the races. And then I became externally successful, but still not internally fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
High school friends to college friends to corporate, work hard, play hard. And I worked at a company called Cognex. They said work hard, play hard. I used to say work hard, play harder. And it was an industrial automation equipment company that had tons of engineers, very, very successful industrial automation. And I was part of that. So I was a global 1% earner, as you mentioned, and then I got in my car accident, which is sort of the second chance my dad never got, because the part of the story I haven't told you yet is my birth father passed away when I was 2 in a car.
Yeah.
I had a stepfather named Steve Lazaros from age 3 to 14. He left my family at 14. So my childhood had a lot of pain, a lot of loss, a lot of suffering. And I didn't realize that, because you don't know any different until you become an adult. And then you look back and I meet all these people all over the world now. And it's like, oh, you guys had a really nice childhood. But what you learn is everyone has these 4 buckets. So the first one is unsuccessful and unfulfilled. Second one is successful and still unfulfilled, but you don't know why. Third one, internal fulfillment, alignment, purpose, calling, passion. But you go broke because you don't know how to make money doing your passion yet. And so I went from the second bucket to the third, where I was externally successful as hell and internally unfulfilled, to then I start my own company, Alan Lazaros LLC, what you'll never learn in school but desperately need to know, self-improvement, personal growth, personal development, start a podcast, liquidated all my assets, went past broke, and now I'm internally fulfilled. I love myself. I love my life. I have self-respect, fitness, finance. I'm doing the thing, but I'm not doing well financially.
Mm-hmm.
And that's externally unsuccessful, but internal fulfillment. And then the fourth bucket is the one that I finally got to in my 30s. And I think some people never get here. I think everyone wants to get here. And it's where the work you do in the world is deeply meaningful and fulfilling, and the economy pays for it. It's very hard to merge those two. Like, if you're passionate about cooking, great. That's your passion. Purpose is cooking for others. Profit is you build a restaurant that actually is profitable. And that's very difficult to do. So it's very hard to merge your passion into purpose, into profit. And that's what I help people with now. But that fourth bucket is I am externally successful and internally fulfilled. And that's a mountain that gets higher as you climb it. So that's my long-winded answer to your first question, which is I do think that's the path we're all on. I think that's the hero's journey. And I think that that's what we all want. We all want to be successful and fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I know we talked about your accident, okay, and then you brought up your dad, your biological father, when you were 2, and then your stepfather leaving at 14. However, the circumstances were around him not being around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that might have had some of a different perspective on what you might view of legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what you're referring to is when my birth father passed away, I saw the impact that had.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up my whole life hearing stories about John. It was Jim, Joe, John, Jane, Joan, Jeanette, 6 kids, all J.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, for sure. And so I saw firsthand the impact someone can have with 28 years on this planet, the impact on others. And I think that death was never a intellectual understanding for me. It was a very emotional one. And I think that's the other piece too. Obviously, adversity sucks. And I don't want people to go through adversity. And I actually think if you don't, you're going to end up wildly naive and frail.
I agree. We need it.
You need it. And it can make you stronger. It can be constructive or destructive. Fortunately for me, it was constructive, and not for everybody that went through my dad's death. It was constructive. But I also was too. I didn't know him as well as my sister did, and my mom, obviously. But yeah, so legacy is the impact beyond your own life. Mm-hmm. And I think that my father's death got me focused on legacy from a much younger age than most people, just because I saw the impact, both positive and negative, of a young death.
So would that have maybe driven your degrees in corporate ladder climbing and incredible money?
I would say I appreciate the curiosity. It's very appropriate for your show. So I love
Thank
it.
you
I
for
think
noticing.
oh, of course. I always used to say curiosity may have killed the cat, but it makes the human. It's very important. Seriously.
It is. Yeah.
Uh, I've always been very curious. I wanted to understand everything. Everything.
Why, why,
Uh,
why, why, why? Yeah.
yeah, always. Always. Why? Why? Are you smoking cigarettes every day when I'm certain it's going to kill you? I printed a 12-page report for my mom when she was, when I was 12. And it's like, why? Um, but anyways, so she did quit. She still blames me for that. She said she jokes. She says, I'm overweight now because I quit smoking. You got me to quit smoking.
Oh, you
Um,
saved your life.
exactly. Damn straight. Damn straight. And trust me, that's what I said. And
Yeah,
by the way, are there people who quit smoking that are overweight? Like, come on, no excuses. But anyways,
totally.
so I wanted to be playful because I don't want to make my mom upset. But the point
Yeah.
is, to your question, I actually think that the work harder, aim higher, get smarter
Mhm.
trauma response
Mm.
was actually injected into me from a very young age from my mom. And I've tried really hard to look at my childhood objectively and look at the pros and the cons, because I think it's really easy to just look at all the bad things and sort of villainize them when there's actually a lot of good things too. And so one of the good things that I've since told my mom about is she taught me this simple lesson when I was very young. I think I was like 7 or something. She said, Alan, you can be a CEO or a farmer. I'm going to love you either way.
Mhm.
But if you're a farmer, you can't just wake up one day and decide to be a CEO. Whereas if you're a CEO, you can just wake up one day, change your whole life, become a farmer. One time I told that story, a farmer got very mad at me. Farmers work so hard, all that stuff. It's a metaphor.
It's
Relax.
yeah.
It's an analogy. But it made sense. And it was like, oh, so she said, aim high and you'll have choices. And she was absolutely right about that. If you aim really high and put in the work, that's the big and, you will have choices. I have a lot of choices. I'm the CEO of my own company now. I have what many people would consider financial freedom, although I think that concept is silly. Uh,
Mhm,
and,
mhm.
and and so if you aim high, you will have choices. And I do think that philosophy is probably the main reason why my trauma response was aim higher, work harder, get smarter. However, I also realized this in hindsight. There's a term called self-efficacy that everyone should research, and
Yes, yes,
it's
please.
yeah. So it's self-belief is the sort of layman's term of it. But I had extremely high unconscious and subconscious self-efficacy. I still do for sure. That's why no one likes me. I'm just joking. But basically, self-efficacy is your belief in your own ability to create external outcomes in advance, which I've always had at very high levels. And it's always like, well, why would someone give up to grow up if they don't believe it's going to work out? And so if you're optimistic about your own future, you're gonna put in the investment. You're gonna try hard. You're gonna do that thing. And so a lot of people have this protector where it's like, if I don't try, then I don't have to fail. I was the ultimate try hard. I mean, I try hard still to this day. Like, I haven't taken a day off in 11 years. So when I say that, people are like, you're a workaholic. It's like, no, no, no. You don't understand. I have a very balanced, uh, harmonious, I'll use harmony more than balance, life. And I'm more fulfilled than I've ever been. So don't project onto me what you think is a workaholic. But what I
Mhm.
will say is, people who don't believe in themselves a lot usually don't have goals. And if you don't have goals, you don't build self-belief. And
Mm.
there's a formula that I use in my coaching where it's state proof self-assigned. So I didn't just get straight A's. I decided in advance to get the President's Award, which required straight A's in high school, and then I went and did it, and then I proved it to myself, and then I self-assigned it. And so
Okay, just a second. Give me a
unconsciously,
second. Give me a second.
yeah,
Friends, you have to take these insights because Alan's got a lot of them, but let's go back and just give those four again very slowly. State,
yeah. So state proof self-assigned 3,
state,
yeah, prove
prove,
self-assigned.
self-assign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
So I always say, if you don't believe in yourself, you have to prove yourself wrong. If you do believe in yourself, you have to prove yourself right.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to have a lot of self belief as a kid. I was running this formula without knowing it.
Mhm.
And then you get to become an adult and you have all this self-belief. And because I researched this, we did a master class in 2024, January. We do this every year.
Mm.
And I researched, and back then, the research I did showed that only 4% of people have clear written goals.
Mm.
And that made me sad, just like you right there. Like, that makes me very sad.
Yeah.
And in my head, it's like, I had clear written goals when I was 6. Like, what do you mean, right? And I realized that that's not normal at all, actually. It's not normal at all. Like, and the reason why people don't have clear written goals, when you dig deep down why, is because they don't believe in themselves. They have low self-efficacy. But here's the problem. If you have low self-efficacy, you're not going to set a goal. And if you don't set a goal, you won't build self-efficacy. Self-belief needs to be premeditated. You can't keep a promise to yourself that you don't have. You have to set a level 1 goal and then hit it, and then you build level 1 self-belief, and then level 2 self-belief, and then you set a level 2 goal, and then you... So state, prove, self-assign. Say you're going to do the thing. Go actually do it. Prove to yourself you can do it, and then self-assign it once you do. The key here is it has to be outputs, not inputs. I'll give you an example. An output is 10 pounds in 10 weeks. An input is exercising daily. So it has to be an output. Most of the things we want in life are byproducts. They're effects, not causes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So a lot of people I know, I've coached, have very high self-belief when it comes to inputs. But they don't have the belief in their ability to create the effect, create the byproduct, create the output. Financial freedom is an output.
Mm-hmm.
Earning $10,000 is an output. The input might be prospecting or sales or whatever. But the input and output thing, cause and effect, people really need to figure out. And a goal is typically an output. I want to make $10,000 a month. That's an output, not an input. That's a byproduct of effective service and products that you sell over time.
Yeah.
But
And
you
like
make
you
more.
like to do the introspection and the reflection, I like to take that one step further and go, well, why do I want to make that money?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Always. Well, usually what you realize when you do that is that you don't actually want money. What you want is what money will get you.
Mm-hmm.
And what money will get you is either financial freedom or a car that makes you feel better about yourself, or a home. It all depends on your values. I think
Ultimately,
that goals are
we
just core.
think we're going to feel better. We're
Of
going to feel
course.
something we don't feel because of it, right?
For a minute you will.
Yeah. You found sponsorship opportunity right here if you haven't considered advertising via podcasts. Connect with JL Palmer today and find out how. Are you our next sponsor? Do you have a product or service needing promotion? Is this your ad spot? Consider advertising via podcasts. Sponsor the Get Curious podcast. For more details, email jlpalmerconsulting@gmail.com. I think we could have conversations for months on end. Just I'm getting the sense of just the same wavelength thinking and what we could actually deliver to an audience of value. It's just it's never ending. But here, this want, love, hate framework, you often use those powerful framing tools, those words, and then a framing tool around them.
Nice.
Can you please unpack for us how getting curious about these 3 distinct categories helps a leader optimize their day?
Perfect. So the want, love, hate framework is predicated on this idea I created. I noticed it in coaching because I've coached for 11 years now. Fitness, finance, peak performance, business consulting, all different people, all different backgrounds, all different countries. And you realize these patterns. It becomes very clear over time. One of them is the gold is buried where you least want to dig. Mm-hmm. If you want a coach, you need a therapist. If you want a therapist, you probably need a coach. We all should have both. But I had dozens of mentors and coaches, and I wanted more mentors and coaches. But success orientation and understanding the economy was not my issue.
Mm.
For me, it was facing my past. So I needed a therapist, right? So the
Mm.
want, love, hate framework is usually the gold is buried where you least want to dig. Usually people, okay, I'll say this and I'll get to the point, I promise. You are not more successful because you don't believe enough in what you already believe. That's not true. It's alarmingly not true. The internet, I think, has become way too overly validating. Like,
Mm.
it's so affirming and validating, and it's like, no, you are not where you want to be because you have massive blind spots about yourself, others, or the world. I know
Thank you.
some people who know themselves at level 10, but they don't know anything about the economy. 195 countries on planet Earth, 8.3 billion people, 6 billion on the internet. They don't know how business works. Your bottleneck isn't self-awareness, it's business, economy, corporate, understand, like government, private versus public. You don't know how IPOs work. You have no clue. And then for me, here I am studying all that when I need to look at my past. So the want, love, hate framework is I want more clients. I love one-on-one coaching. I hate social media. Hate it. Guess what? Guess what I have to do if I want more clients?
Social media.
Social media. The bottleneck is not the thing you already love doing,
Yeah.
right? I want a great body. I love weight training. Obsessed. Hate dieting. Hate it.
Right.
Hate dieting. Guess what? It's weight training is not the bottleneck.
Do
Okay?
not tell me I
Dieting is.
can't eat that.
What'd you say?
Do not tell me I can't eat that.
It sucks. It's and again, here's the thing. Some people have no problem dieting but hate weight training.
Yeah.
So everything we want is on the other side of someone or something we hate.
Mm.
And people think, well, if there's resistance, then don't do it. BS. Absolute BS. Okay?
You can tie that back to weight training. You have to have the resistance.
You got to. And it takes no courage if you're not afraid. It takes... Listen, if you don't want to do it, don't. But stop complaining about not getting the result then. The success is a formula, okay? It's a formula that is predicated on inputs and outputs. If you want to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks, I can give you the exact formula on how to do it. We do a next level 10 pounds in 10 week challenge every year. We've done it for 4 or 5 years straight. I haven't missed, neither has Kevin. We're about to do it again in Q3. We just did one
tell
early.
people who Kevin is.
Kevin's my business.
Yeah,
Kevin's my business partner.
Okay, and so he sometimes co-hosts with your podcast, right?
He and I always. We do an episode a day. It's Kevin and I basically arguing. No. So Kevin and I, we both grew up without dads. We both grew up in the same small town. We both had big dreams, and he didn't believe in himself, and I did a lot. We didn't know it, and he hated me in high school. I hated that he hated me. But we reconnected in our mid-20s after he had suicidal ideation and I had a car accident. And we just, quarter-life crisis, we kind of started spending Father's Day together and fishing and talking deep about life. Mm-hmm. And now we have a charity for boys without fathers, and we do 2 events a year now for single parents. And one is during the holidays and one's on Father's Day. It's actually coming up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Kevin and I started this company together 9 years ago, and we wanted to help people change the way you think, change the way you act, change the way you live was the original hyper-conscious podcast. That was the original tagline. Now we're Next Level University, Next Level You, not Next Level Kevin, not Next Level Alan, Next Level You. Success and personal development in your pocket every day from anywhere on the planet, completely free. We were trying to be the male role models we wish we had growing up. And we quite frankly, like, if you're not leading by example, I just say, just stop talking. I can't even with that. I met a lot of my heroes, and they're not my heroes anymore. And I just can't understand why people are so okay with talking about something, but not like leading by example. And so I realized that that doesn't only bother me, but it bothers me more than it bothers other people. So I realized, okay, that's a core value. I'm going to build a company based on that. Like, if I'm coaching you on something, I'm doing it. Otherwise, I will shut my mouth.
Yeah. This is society that does this to us. I mean, and we don't challenge it enough. I mean, we do need to take on the challenge of saying, okay, I don't need society to think I am this, 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 and this. And I just say it and don't do it. It's an image we try to present, which isn't true. And the large percentage of the population, I'm sure I've done it. Um, it's one of those things where we want to feel like we're there even if
Yeah.
we're not,
Or we
you
want to
know.
look like we're there.
Well, look has that judgment, with the judgment aspect. And I know that there are some things that you talk about with regards to judgment and other stuff. But I think that's the biggest one. It's like, we want to appear like we're happy and fulfilled, even if
Mm-hmm.
maybe we aren't. And that's and there's a huge difference. I mean, I could ask you to talk about the huge difference between that for our listeners, and really distinguish between, the temporary spark of, happiness and true lasting fulfillment.
Yeah. Well, fulfillment is a byproduct of alignment with your potential, I believe. And I believe your potential is comprised of three things. I think it's growth, contribution, and quality of life. And we call it the fulfillment framework.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I growing in alignment with my values and goals? Am I contributing beyond myself in alignment with my values and goals? And is my quality of life increasing over time? And here's the cool part. It doesn't even have to start out nice. My quality of life was awful when my stepdad left. I actually think that's an advantage. Like, now I drive a nice car, I live in a nice home, I have nice clothing. Like, it's unbelievable how nice my life is now when some people started here.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the
Mm-hmm.
human condition, the contrast apparatus of the human condition, everything's relative. So I always tell Kev, my business partner, it's like, dude, you gotta make a ladder that you climb, because if you get a $200,000 car, where do you go from there, man? Like,
Mm-hmm.
create a ladder that's sustainable. Enjoy the climb. And I think low expenses are a superpower, because I think the things we own end up owning us. If you're, a lot of people call it house poor. It's like you bought a really nice house that you can't afford, and now you don't have any money. And I think that goes back to what you said about what happens to us in high school, where we care more what people think of us than what we think of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we fall for that. It's like you have the social world and the real world. Fulfillment comes from the real world.
Mm-hmm.
I see the Instagram account and the bank account. I see the wedding photos and the marriage. Emilia and I, we coach couples. We've coached couples for 6 years. So I see the behind the scenes and the front of the scenes. And they are drastically different sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the inverse 10 law. If someone is flaunting at level 10 success, they are 1/10 as successful as you think. And if they're not flaunting at all, they're probably 10 times more successful than you think.
Isn't that just the millionaire next door mentality, right?
I think
You're
it's
boss.
predicated on insecurity, right? If you're insecure about not being successful, you're going to try to look successful.
Yeah.
And if you're secure and actually successful, you don't really need to flaunt it. And so when I was the least fulfilled in my life, I was putting on the biggest show. And I was drinking and I was unhappy. And if you saw me out, I was having fun, but that's because I was drinking. Whereas my real life sucked. Now it's the opposite. Now I'm no fun. But my real life is awesome. And I think that that's kind of a human condition thing. Like, all of us are trying to temper the sadness and the depression by, like, putting on some form of a show. Not everybody, but some people are insecure about being too much. Some people are insecure about not being enough. Some people are insecure about being unfairly judged. Those are the three big ones. It's like fear of success, fear of failure, fear of judgment. But yeah, so fulfillment comes from growth, contribution, and quality of life. But the quality of life one is the one everyone's focused on. It's like, if you focused on growth and contribution first, quality of life would come over time. But if you're so focused on quality of life, you're going to end up in credit card debt trying to keep up with the the Joneses, and now the Joneses have become the Rock, because of social media. It's like back when I was a kid, I would, the neighbor gets a pool, you get a pool. It's like now it's the neighbor has a $250 million mansion, and it's on Instagram, and they're 27, and it's not real.
No. So if a listener's feeling stuck, maybe they're in a corporate job or business right now, what's one small daily thing that they could do, like an optimization check that they can run to find their fulfillment?
Track habits. I started tracking habits 11 years ago in these little black notebooks. I have them over in the corner of my office. And now every team member, 24 team members and 38 clients as of today, every one of us tracks metrics and habits. And so we call it DRI KPI, so directly responsible individual. Like, what are you responsible for? Kevin is responsible for Next Level Podcast Solutions. We work with 92 podcasters, and we produce I don't know the exact amount of shows, but it's like 70 plus podcasts.
That's crazy. I used to produce. I know kind of what that takes, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And we're doing well. I'm grateful because that was not always the case. But Kev is the directly responsible individual for that department. I'm the directly responsible individual for the coaching department. So we both help each other, but we know who to blame when things go wrong. And that's okay. Blame is good. Responsibility and accountability is good.
Okay, I'm there with you, but I'm not I'm the no blaming. Responsibility and accountability, yes, but no shaming is.
I said no shame. No. I was gonna say no shame. Blame is good. Shame is not. Okay.
There we are.
You gotta know who's at fault, and you gotta own it when you are. I'm not saying to get stuck in shame though. No. So the DRI KPI, so directly responsible individual, there needs to be one key performance indicator underneath what you are responsible for. There has to be some sort of metric. So you asked me what's the one thing people can do. You have to have KPIs. You don't have to do anything if you want to be successful. Can you imagine going into Apple and asking them, hey, what are you guys measuring? And them being like, we're just winging it. No clue. Like, you can't. Michael Phelps' coach, just jump in the pool, swim around. Listen, I'm an engineer. I know you don't have to like me. Don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I'm saying. You have to track things. You have to. All of the research shows when you track a KPI, improvement increases, and when you track and report the KPI, improvement exponentially increases. There is no winging it. Winging it is a terrible idea. Genuinely a terrible idea. I know I'm an engineer. I know I'm extreme. I know I love math. I know I'm weird. But you have to have KPIs in your life. It doesn't have to be crazy. But you need to know how much is in your bank account. You need to know what the scale says. You need to understand whether you're progressing or not. Otherwise, you're going to end up shooting an arrow up in the air, hoping it lands someplace nice. And I'm telling you, all the people that say it'll all work out, listen, I know what they're trying to say, but that's not true. Look around. Is everyone living deeply fulfilling, magnificent lives of financial freedom and growth? No, absolutely not. Not even close. Some people are. And when you coach those people, you realize they're tracking. They're tracking things. Okay, maybe it's body fat percentage. Maybe it's cash on hand. Maybe it's gross revenue. They're tracking things. Every result that you see on the surface has someone tracking something underneath it.
So, I mean, this is all absolutely amazing, like all the tips and everything. I want to make sure that we're clear about where to find you, because I'm sure the guests are going to want to find out more after this episode. I know the website is nextleveluniverse.com. Nice. And then, of course, the podcasts and the coaching is all there. You're also, I believe, on Instagram and Facebook.
Nice.
What is there anywhere else we'd like to send people, or is there anything else you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
First of all, thank you again for having me.
Oh,
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Yeah, it really was on my end as well. So thank you. I don't take it lightly. I think it's important, and I remember when no one cared. So thank you for having me. where can you find me? What I would say is I used to think that I was for everybody. That was wildly naive. If you have high humility, inward humility, because people are like, Alan, you're not very humble. It's like inward humility. I mean, like, I may think I'm bright, but I'm also reading books every day. Like inward humility, humility in action. Okay. So if you're inwardly humble, you have high work ethic. If you have low work ethic, you are going to hate me. Okay. So
Cracking the whip.
yeah, it is what it is. Like, I'm not work smart, not hard. None of that. Absolutely not. Like, you can work smart after you beat your head against the wall. Because that's when you work smart anyway, right? Imagine someone at the very start, they're like 22, like, I want to work smart, not hard. It's like, no, wait a minute. You're missing 2 decades of working hard. So anyways, inward humility, high work ethic, very high work ethic, and an improvement orientation, meaning you are willing to look at your weaknesses. You're willing to look at your inadequacies. Like, you are not more successful because you have massive blind spots and you are wildly inadequate. I don't mean intrinsically spiritually. I mean skills and behaviors and habits. Like, why would someone solve a problem they don't admit they have? No one's going to work on something that they already think is great.
Don't fix it if it's not broken? Yeah.
Well, no, because that's why I'm saying this, is because I do think that if those things are true, my peak performance coaching, my directly responsible individual, my key performance indicators, my podcast, Next Level University, Kevin and I, if you do not have high inward humility, high work ethic, and an improvement orientation, you are not going to like me or our show, which means you probably already turned this off. If you do have those qualities and you want more of those qualities and you actually want someone who cares more about your success than your feelings, then Next Level University is for you. It's a podcast. We do an episode every single day. We just crossed 2,500 episodes. We're about to. I'm actually supposed to record with Kevin now. But yeah, so thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And way to go. Get curious. Love it.
Oh, thank you so much for being here.
You are so very welcome.
I know you want to get to know our guests better. I definitely will be. If you'd like help with your podcast or you'd like to be my next guest, check out the show notes for details on how to get signed up with Podmatch. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.